Red charts, global unrest, but the IAGON team still keep grinding away. Keep watching to find out why I'm bullish. Anyways, another week, another circus in crypto. Let's jump right into this week's madness, starting with the charts. As you can see, pretty much widespread down, red everywhere. Been a slow grind down. Let's look at the Cardano charts yet again. Most things are either going sideways or just bleeding against ADA or the Cardano natives. IAG specifically has gone down 10% against ADA in the last month. You may have had the same post pop up on your feed, but I've noticed a lot of people trying to predict what Bitcoin is doing. Everyone's doing their own TA, everyone's drawing their own squiggly lines, and everyone has their own price predictions, right? Seems to me no one really knows what's going to happen, right? The one thing I do know that will happen is that currently we have global unrest. Currently, you've got all that's happening with Trump wanting to take over Greenland. You have the Iran situation. You have all this global unrest at the moment, right? People are scared. People want safe options. We don't know what's going to happen. Things could take an even worse turn, okay? So the prices could keep going down. They're already quite low, right? If you look at, for example, let's look at Cardano and let's look at a max, right? If you look at, are we closer to an all-time high or are we close to an all-time low? We're closer to an all-time low. So to me, this is a good time to be DCAing, right? Dollar cost averaging. I wouldn't be making lump sum purchases because I still think there is room to go lower. Not looking at a chart, not drawing squiggly lines. This is just my own personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, just me thinking about what's going on in the world right now. I think there is room to go lower. How much? I don't know. So to me, this is a time to be DCAing rather than making lump sum purchases. And you don't need to be glued to your screen every day, every week. You can make your DCA every week and know that you're getting a good price. And when things come good, you can switch it off if you want. So don't get sucked in to the crazy bullishness of people trying to predict what's going to happen anytime soon, and don't get sucked into the crazy bearishness of what's going to happen anytime soon. No one really knows, and the best thing you can be doing right now is just DCAing. So in light of that, I asked people what they thought the all-time high for IAGON would be this week. So if you look here, we had 4 price targets. We have $1 to $2, $3 to $5, $5 to $10, and then 10 plus. Now, most people here have said $1 to $2. In terms of all options, it's probably the more bearish, but it's still bullish. Like IAGON currently 6 cents. So if you're getting $1, that's a times 15, roughly. If you're getting 2, it's a times 30, roughly. Plus, they're crazy numbers. You'd be happy with that anyway. So that's great. But when you look at what IAGON is doing, you've got the F50 that could potentially come out this year. You've got the compute enterprise that they've just spoken about with the royalty node bootstrapping system that they're going to be running. You've got Worth that's going to be starting Q1, the revenue coming in from that. And then you've got patent revenue that's going to be coming in this year by the end of the year. So to me, if we can get all of the powers combined, all 4 of them running 4 different sources of large revenue for a token that currently has about a 26 million USD market cap, that's incredible. You might be asking, like, we've gotten rough figures of the Fortune 50, we've gotten rough figures for the compute, rough figures for Worth. What about patent revenue? I did a bit of research, just, a grok casual search, and I asked who is potentially infringing on IAGON's patent, right? And it listed a bunch of companies. Then I said, what is their estimated annual revenue? So this morning, Clay's After Dark held a space, and IAGON was a guest on there, specifically Nav. And they asked him about patent revenue. And he said he's going to be giving all of the people infringing on IAGON's patent 2 options. Option number 1, you pay 20% of your annual revenue to IAGON, and you don't have to mention you're using IAGON tech. You just pay the team 20% or the holders 20%. Or you pay 10% in infringement revenue per year, but you have to say powered by IAGON. Now, if we scroll through here and you look at the estimated yearly annualized revenue for all of these companies that are potentially infringing on IAGON's patent, look at this, 10 to 20% of 200 to 300K. 10 to 20% of 8 to 10 mil, 10 to 20% of 2 to 3 mil plus, 10 to 20% of 30 mil. Look at all these numbers. This will add up. So you've got F50 revenue, you've got compute enterprise revenue, you've got worth revenue, and then you've got this patent revenue with all those numbers that I've just said, 10 to 20% of that all added up. This will exceed a quarter or 25% of the market cap of IAGON. That's ridiculous. Not many companies can say they do that their revenue is higher than a quarter, let alone in the crypto world actually being profitable. A lot of companies run negative for a period of time to get things going, but IAGON very quickly is profitable, let alone 25% of their current market cap profitable. So to me, looking at the global market space, IAGON is a great project to be DCAing in, fully knowing well that it could go lower due to what's going on in the world. But with all these things brewing, you know, if you've got a longer time frame, like a year, 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years, whatever, even 5 years, look, if you're going to be making this sort of money, you can wait 5 years. I think it's a project worth holding on to and investing in. But that's my opinion. That's what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on the internet presenting some information to you guys. So I hope you've learned something or taken a different opinion on a few things. If you found this information useful, please follow me on X and subscribe to me on YouTube not to miss any more deep dives. And if you have any thoughts, questions, or feedback, leave a comment and like. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.